Carol here. A great big warm welcome to my craft room. And Cheeky Studio guest design today is so exciting for me because I love layouts. And I love the fact that Tuesday has asked me to guest design once again doing a layout for her studio and her shop. And I encourage you to check it out. Wonderful, wonderful products for layouts and scrapbooking alike. So over on Cheeky Studio, and I'll leave all the information on my blog, of course. So what I had to do first is get 2 pictures. I only drink instant coffee, so I didn't think too many people could handle that, like doing an instant coffee layout. Coffee's coffee, right? I know a lot of people love their coffee. So I asked my granddaughter if she would send me a picture of her and her dad, which is my son, drinking coffee. They always go on their coffee rounds, you know, to stop. And, you know, she always sends me pictures of her and her dad having a coffee. And I said, do you mind sending me one with just your dad and just you? So I have 2 pictures for my layout. So I do have my granddaughter Kate and my son Chad visiting each other at a coffee shop. Now, here we go. I found these in my stash. They're called laminating pouches. I get them at my stationery store I always talk about. These are 2x3, and then I have 3x5, I think it is. And I thought, wow, little wee laminating pouches. That's awesome. I mean, our stash is full of wonderful stuff, isn't it? I find the strangest things. And I was going through and I thought, I think I have something that makes a nice hard cover for these. And sure enough, there they were, laminating pouches. So there's the larger of the size. I decided to go with the large one because I can cut it down instead of trying to squeeze it in the 2x3 because the pictures are just a little bit bigger. So I get out my Mink and I prepare to laminate. Now I did the pictures, 2 of them in a cream colored cardstock, more on the brown side, and I did 2 with just copy paper. You know, my granddaughter sent me the pictures and then I copied them, of course. And I found I really liked the bright one, like with the copy paper, better than I did the beige for some reason, like that beige brown color cardstock. And it didn't matter because you're using these laminating pouches, whether you have cardstock that's thick or cardstock that's thin, like typing paper. So I went with the typing paper and it worked out perfectly. So I'm going to cut them down to size. This is a 12x12 layout that my granddaughter Kate, it's Caitlin, I call her Katie, I'm going to give this to her as a gift to put in her room of her and her dad out for their coffee time. And I prepared a lot of it beforehand for you. So I went through, this is a My Favorite Things coffee mug set that I cut out. It has marshmallows, little chocolate bars, you know, the aroma flames coming up, and the different mugs, and it has the cream on top, yada yada. I mean, it has everything, and I've had that in my stash forever. So I got that out because it's coffee, and I love the tiny little marshmallows. And in this kit, there's Kate sipping her coffee. It's probably coffee wakamaka latte. I don't get coffee at those places, so you know, I call them fracamacca rocka lattes. How's that? I'll call it that. So I'm cutting it down, and like I said, in this kit over at Cheeky Studio, you get the wood veneer that says a cuppa, and you get the beautiful, I call it string, but it's like this rope kind of thing. And you get all of the ephemera, like beautiful ephemera for coffee. Here's my embossing folder. I'm going to emboss the coffee mugs just to give it a little extra something something. It has those little badges as well. That's what the buttons, I'm not sure in the scrapbooking world what you call those, but they're those gorgeous buttons and so affordably priced for everything that you get. And if you're a scrapbooker, I encourage you to go over and check Tuesday's beautiful ephemera and her kits. So just top of the line and affordable. That's what I like. So here I had some of these already cut out. You know, I buy those Ziploc bags to put my design team projects in so I can have everything ready. And then I can also put the leftovers in there, and I can grab it at every time and have just a little bit prepared for a project. And I was really glad I had a lot of this prepared. But you know, sometimes we just have to make something different. Just a different, whether it's a different embossing folder, a different colored paper, whatever. I just wanted to make some more of these mugs, separate them, and there's another one of the embossing folders I used. So I had, I think, 3 different styles, like designs that I used for this, these mugs, and also a different design. Oh yeah, yummy, yummy candies there for this. Now I went to my Heartfelt Creation papers. I haven't used these forever, and I want to start using up things in my stash, and it gives you the thickness. I had 12 by 12 cardboard to start out with. I had gold, kind of gold on the brown tinge that I put over top of the cardboard. And then it says, "There is sunshine in my soul today." And I'm not going to sing for you today. I'll do you the pleasure of not singing. But there is a nice song, a little chorus, you know, "There's sunshine in my soul today." So I got out this line from Heartfelt Studio. It's an older line. I know that because I ordered it a few years back. And then it has these little tags that I used. But what I did on the tags is I put the pieces of ephemera with the sayings on the tags. So it looked like these tags were made by Tuesday over on Cheeky Studio, because I'm using her product and incorporating it into the Heartfelt Creation tags. I used the little rope that was in the kit, and it went together perfectly. And on the back of the paper of this particular "There is Sunshine in My Soul Today" cardstock, there are the frames. And I picked the 2 frames here because the pictures are oblong, as you can see there, and it fit. Like, this came together, this project came together so nicely, and I love that, especially lately. I'm going to tell you what happened to me. I know some people have read it on my comments, and I saw there was a comment there when I said that I had broke my toes. I did, and I fractured a few bones on top of my left foot, but it wasn't due to being on my bike. No, it was because I ran in to get the phone quick from outside inside. My shoe got caught on my husband's briefcase, and the chair also got in there somehow, and I went flying flat on my face, and my foot got tangled up on the wheels of the chair underneath, and it broke my big toe, the toe next to it, and fractured some bones on top of my foot. So I have splints on my toes, and it's all wrapped up. I'm able to walk around, so I'm good that way. It's just one of those unfortunate accidents. That's what they call it, right? That and old age. So here I took out my 1/2 inch. I was going to put this in. Look at that. I had to change the tape. We all know. I know I do. I got to change my ATG gun. But I did it. Look at. And one day I will include how you change out the 1/2 inch ATG gun. Totally different than the 1/4 inch. They're both different. The setup is different. So I'll post that one day I have more time. So I covered the back because you know I love ATG gold runner, like the tape. It's so crazy sticky. And then I put down this paper, and I'm going to cover a lot of it. You're not going to see those beautiful sunflowers up in the left. corner, and you're going to see there is sunshine in my soul, but I'm going to put a cup of sunshine. I'm going to put that cuppa, add cuppa, on top of the word sunshine as we go along, and just, you know, incorporate everything the way I like it. So here's the cardboard. I ordered this 12 by 12 cardboard. You can get any type of cardboard on the back of, you just use what's on the back of your 12 by 12 papers and go from there if you're doing layouts. I don't do scrapbooking, but I do love layouts, and I love putting the Melissa Francis pinchy hangers on the top when I give them, you know, as gifts so that they can be hung in a craft room or on a knob or whatever. So here we go, flatten it out. This is a gold beige brown. It matches this paper perfectly. So of course I have to rip it up and get it ready. And I had it ripped in this strange ripping thing going on, and I changed it up. I'm going, what are you doing here, Carol? Come on, move along, move along. Look at this. It was kind of like my mountain thing. You never know what structure, when you're doing a layout, you're going to do. It's kind of like your mood, how you feel. That's kind of how I felt. I had my foot kind of up on the garbage can on my lower, underneath my island. So I guess I felt kind of, you know, whatever. And then my foot got tired of being on there, kind of fell asleep, so I had to stand up. Oh my, yeah. What happens in our lives, right? Those things are unfortunate, but they do happen. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. So that's good. Thank you so much for people commenting and making sure I'm okay. I appreciate that very much. So here we go. It's placement, however you feel you want to place it. Now, I'm going to explain. I was going to put like the two bowed ribbons with that rope going from side to side and hang my coffee cups up there. And as I got looking at it, and here's the little coffee beans, they're in this collection. So cute. And I actually I actually took the vintage photo and went around all the edges of my little coffee beans. I went around the edges of everything that goes on this layout. Yes, I love to take my time and create. That's what a layout is. And if I have to take the vintage photo and go around, you know, 9,022 little coffee beans, that's okay. I don't mind. And here, I thought, here it goes. I need to have more space on top. My design was not looking right with that mountain peak thing going on. So I cut it like that. I grabbed my applicator, my vintage photo, and you just can't be without that vintage photo. And I realized that I was looking for the applicators, and they're underneath my little minis. That was so funny. You know, if you don't use things, you forget how you store things. So yeah, just flicking up a few of those emails to the right. I know it probably drives you crazy to see that, my hand going over, but I'm nosy and I have to see who's emailing me when I'm creating. So I ran around the edges of my torn pieces with vintage photo. I know it has that little mini down there. I think that's something stained tea, or I can't remember what it's called, but I went darker and used the vintage photo. I used my ATG gun and I put it down. Once it goes down, that's your layout design, right? Yeah, you can cover it, which is good. So here you know, I like to rip things. I like to turn up the corners. I add some glue dots underneath that turned up right-hand corner on the lower edge. And glue dots, or little, glue dots will hold it there. And then however I can fit it in and cover up the butterflies. I didn't want you to really see that design of the flowers or the butterflies, but I did want those dots in the paper because my granddaughter and my son are wearing blue. So I had to incorporate the blue. That's why the paper went perfectly. And the dots in here, you have the same color background in the beige. You have the vintage photo. Look at those dots. Perfect colors. I mean, when things come together. So I outlined the picture so I knew where I was going to put my coffee beans. I'm going to put them on the outside of that. I put some double-sided, oh, hello, hello. Wherever there's tape, my little dogs show up, right? So here we go. I take off the double-sided tape, and this makes it quick. So what I was doing here, I would take the coffee bean and I would distress the edges with the vintage photo till I realized, and every like third or fourth one I raised it up with the Doris really thin double-sided tape. So I thought, okay, put your picture down. So my son is situated on this piece of paper, and then I thought just go around and then add with your applicator, go around the edges, just tapping your little coffee beans, because doing it one at a time, honestly, I would have been there a long time. I figured that out right about here. So I'm raising it up with one of my Doris little strips. You get 33 strips in a package. Wonderful deal. The link will be over on my blog. And I just go around the edges, twisting and turning my little coffee beans to give it some dimension. I lift it up and it's coming together. I have the tape down. See how I'm just adding the vintage photo after I put that down. I have the little curled up edge because you know that's kind of like, I like doing that. I like to curl up. That's why layouts are so much fun. They're like a card in big form. It really stretches your creativity. If you're used to just doing cards, doing a layout is a wonderful gift if you're sending it. You know, it doesn't weigh anymore, I don't think, if you just put it in a manila folder and send it off, and you put one of those hangers inside. You know, I wrap it in tissue and put it in, and I think it makes a nice gift with whatever theme. There's so many beautiful themes over at Cheeky Studio. And here's one of the latte in a nice glass. And I've got the little mini marshmallows, and I have the steam going on there. So I put my marshmallows, the outside ones I have doubled up so I have some dimension. And I love working with fussy little things. You know that. I like to work with small things. I like to do detailed work. So this was a lot of fun. And that gold paper there, see the flecks in it? It almost looks like crafts cardstock with kind of like gold in it. That's where I'm getting my gold. I try to incorporate gold in whatever I'm doing. So I'm going to go with that gold paper as being my gold. And I add some glossy accents because I ran out of my Nouveau Crystal Glaze glue, and I ran out of the other that I used. My, let me see here, my Pico Irresistible Clear. I ran out of that. And there's the Acappa, that wooden cutout, I'll call it. Yeah, and so I just distressed it with some of the blue that I used. I think it was Blue Jean, little mini distress ink, and the vintage photo. Yeah, here we go. So I needed to raise this up twice. So I got out my my foam I get at the dollar store where nothing's $1, and I cut it out and I raised it twice high. I'm not going to go too high anymore. I'm going to say twice high, and added liquid glue to the back, and it was really quick. And I had my hot glue gun on because I needed it throughout this, and that's my Nouveau glue because it sticks very well. And put it down. I'm sorry I don't have it in frame here. I was really having to go from, you know, close up and then go back, close up and go back. I didn't know where to show you things close up. Yeah, I got a little bit confused there, but now I've got it out, and I'm going to, just on half the beans, I'm going to use my glossy accents. And that can be drying while I continue to do the rest of the layout. And yeah, oh, there he comes. Yep, right into the glossy accents. Doesn't he do it all the time? Oh yeah, he's going to be a sticky little dog. That's okay. He doesn't want to listen. Yeah, clean it all off. And let's see, I don't like to say and all the time, you know that too. Yes, there it goes. I glossy accent the latte. I have the little flames coming up because it's hot. And here's another card stamp set that I had. Let's call it a stamp set. And it had to do with everything coffee or tea. So, and it had these line of about 10 coffee beans. So I end up using that towards the end of this layout. Now here's what I'm talking about, folks. Here it is. Happiness is, it said a butterfly. But I put happiness is, and then I used the little bag of coffee beans and the muffin and just covered that up. I was so proud of myself. Yeah, that's called creating, right? So I got that done. I think I did 2 of them like that for this layout. And then I used that beautiful rope that was in the kit. So let's move on. I'm going to get Caitlin's, I'm going to distress all the edges for her picture. And I'm going to put that, I raised it up. I didn't go corner to corner. And I didn't want to go side to side. So I just opted to do the lower left corner with the picture and then halfway up on the right. I thought that was pleasing to the eye. And then I could fit in some more objects I wanted to incorporate into this layout. So here comes the 1/2" ATG. I'm going to put that down and we're going to put all of those wonderful coffee beans all the way around the, yeah, I'm trying to figure out which way to go here. Up, down, right there. Yes, it's such a big decision, isn't it? When you tear it, because you end up, yeah, you end up really liking the places that you rip off and distress, and you don't want to cover them up. So that's kind of like a thing. Yeah, I do. Yeah, don't say no. I do. I problems in that way. You know, you get all this stuff prepared and you don't know whether to cover it or not to cover it. And yeah, so there's Kate. And we're going to put the coffee beans and distress them. Like I said, raise them up. And you can notice I go from this, I go to that. There's my stamp to the left. See right by a cuppa? Those stamps, they're beans. I just love this, our stash. I love that you can find things to work in a layout that you have already in your stash. You purchase the kit and then you embellish with what you have in your craft room. Gives us an opportunity to use the things we have, you know, that has been sitting for a while and we like to use, but we don't know where to use it. And so that's what I did. I found that MFT die. I found that stamp set that I had to do with coffee. And then I took the Heartfelt Creation papers and then Tuesday's beautiful design coffee ephemera. I loved every bit of it. I didn't even incorporate all of it because you have those beautiful, the way Tuesday packages, I'm going to jump in here, the way she packages all of her product is first class. You can use and incorporate the way that all of the materials she uses for packaging. Yeah, Tuesday, you do a great, great job in that. A lot of care goes into Cheeky Studio. It really does. All her products. She takes extra special steps to make sure when you get this in the mail, you are excited to open it because it's packaged so beautifully. Yeah. And on this, let me just say, you have the, we've already made the pictures, you know, we put it through the mink, so you don't have to worry about dropping anything on the pictures because they're already laminated. So it's really nice. You just have to clean it off. You almost want to, there's my tag, laminate the whole 12 by 12 so you don't get anything on it. So there you go. I ran the rope through it. I put some vintage photo on that rope, cut it off, and it said, happiness is a muffin and some coffee. And I put a heart there, you know? It's just wonderful. I loved this layout. And then I went back and did all the edges with the vintage photo on my little beans. Oh yeah, this is coming together. And that's what I like. And then it has these sticky peel-offs. Is that the right way to say it? These peel-off things. See how you have all of the little coffee cups on the bottom? There's 4 of them all attached. So I put them down there on the bottom part of the lower right-hand picture. And then you have the matching cups with thick, thick cardstock. Yeah, I love thick cardstock. So I had the pile of ephemera to my left that I had to choose from, and I had a lot. I could do probably 5 or 6 full layouts here with just the ephemera in this pack. And this pack is very affordable for everybody that does scrapbooking, like I said. So now I want to raise up, there is sunshine in my soul today. I want to have that pop off the page for some dimension. So I cut it out, distress all around the edges with the vintage photo. I stuck with just 2 or 3. I think I used LDRS Creative ink for a few things there. Can you hear that plane going over my house? Yeah. I'll put the Scotch double-sided tape behind this because it's thicker. And then I don't know what my hand's doing there. I'm probably looking for something. I think, yeah, my smaller scissors to cut off the double-sided tape. And then I'm going to put that over. I am going to cover that latte on the bottom of the glass because I put it down a little bit too low, but I didn't want to tear it up. And another thing, I use my scissors sometimes instead of using the distress tool. I find scissors distress edges without tearing it when you're using paper. You know, when you're distressing paper like that, and it does a light distress. I just love it. And here's some more of my gold. Yeah, I'm just going to send you some gold hearts. And then I raised up the coffee bean image on my little latte. Is that what you call it? My cup of latte. And I went around and did a lot with the glossy accents. Yeah, I did my bean here with the glossy accents. Did my muffin just in between the little lines. I did the coffee. And I had a blast, like using up things in my stash as well as incorporating Tuesday's beautiful ephemera and all of the things in this kit. When you go over and look at the products here, you could make tons of cards. If you have friends that love to drink coffee, look at, I mean, the affordability of buying this kit. Let me just say this. You could probably make 24 cards easily and send them out, if not more, with all of the ephemera that's in this kit. But I'll have the link to it so you can just press it and go right over and check it out. So I raised that up and put it down with the tape. I got ahead of myself, didn't I? Here comes that Tonka big roll of double-sided tape. I only did it once. I didn't want it to be really raised up. I just wanted to have a little bit of dimension. And I am starting to get really excited about this layout. I put that on, and it's been hot, hasn't it, this like past week? I don't know where, I don't know where everybody lives, but here in Ontario, we had weather up in like 100 degrees with the humidity factor. I have never seen it so hot. It just, I don't get to see it very much because I stay in the air conditioning. But I hear it's really hot out there. Yes. Even a couple of times I had to go in the pool because I just, when you have nice, refreshing, kind of warmish water, I like that. It's almost like a sauna. Not really. We have a sauna, like a 6-man sauna, and that gets hot. I don't like heat like that, where you put the water on the rocks and you have all the steam in the sauna. That's my husband's thing. He likes that. And so he built that in our basement. Yeah, and it's beautiful, but I don't enjoy heat like that. I like my air conditioning. So, yeah, that's just a little bit of trivia I threw in there. So I had these gold clip, or excuse me, I had these metal clips of little lattes or little coffees. I don't even know what a latte is if I was to go try to order one, but I hear they're called lattes. I don't know if that's that little, no, cappuccino is the little thing. You have a cappuccino machine. And then the lattes, I guess you order, you know, that's the, I'll have a fracamacca wacka latte, please. Craziest names they have. Yes, I have been with my sisters when they're ordering, and it's just like, what did you say? Wow, they know all those names for all of these hot coffee, cold coffee, freezing coffee. Coffee just comes in everything now. It's amazing. So everybody enjoys it. I think my granddaughter there has one of the coffee latte things, but it's ice. It's all crushed up coffee ice or something. Phew, yeah. And then they've got all this. Oh, there's my Stampin' Up set. I'm using this twice. I used it on my last project and with Rubbernecker when I did the poppies, and I'm using it again. This is awesome. And there goes a plane. I don't know if you can hear that. I don't know how if my mic is picking up on that, but it's a busy place here. Buffalo Airport isn't that far from me. That's why I can hear the planes, I guess. So here we go. I'm just sitting back. Look at, I have some spill marks. We all have to have coffee spill marks. If I had any marks, they'd be from my Coca-Cola can. I have to get something much bigger than these little spill marks of the coffee. But look at vintage photo. It worked out perfectly. And I love this grunge set by Stampin' Up. And that's, again, in my stash that I haven't used forever. And you don't even need an acrylic block. It just sticks to your fingers and you just go crazy putting it down. Yeah, I must be looking at, oh, there, it's raining gold. It's kind of like when I'm at the 3/4 mark here, I start to get really excited about designing because you're not having to think out the process as much because you've already laid out the foundation. I really like it. And you can just think cards. If you don't do layouts, you can just think what you would do with these supplies with a card for, like I said, the people in, you know, loved ones in your life that love coffee. There's lots of them out there. I think a lot of my friends and all my sisters, I think, drink coffee. I'm pretty sure. Not I. Instant coffee. Isn't that so funny? I love instant coffee. Like I can sit and have maybe 3 cups of it. I really do like it. But I have to be careful because I like it with sugar, of course. So here we go. I'm going to incorporate the blue. I moved to a darker blue here. I found that blue too light on the mug. So I went into my little mini distress inks and found one. I removed that little latte. I couldn't find it. I went to put glue on it. I set it aside, that right by a cuppa, and the little wee one, and it didn't even fall on the floor. I don't know. It must have stuck to something because you know how I stop and clean up. So, yeah, it must have stuck on something, and I put it in the zip bag because on the final, when you look at the final pictures, it's not there. So anyway, so here I go. See how I have different embossing folder, like embossed mugs there. Now, because it said there's sunshine in my soul today, I wanted to use the Tim Holtz, I think it's Tim Holtz Sun Rays on the top. I thought this would be nice too. Like I like the look of this stencil, but I think it's called Crocodile, but this really did something. And I even turned it around and used it on the wrong side, I think. Yes, it doesn't matter when you have a stencil, I don't think, if it's just sun rays. So I put my vintage photo down on my Tim Holtz glass mat there, and I'm trying to move that little piece of something out of the way. Then I got out my, let me see here, it's right behind me. Which one did I use? I used the Liquitex Flexible Modeling Paste. And the reason is I'm going to say because if your layout, because it's bigger, if it, you know, you get bends in it or whatever, this is flexible embossing paste. So it moves with it. It doesn't crack. Once you put it down like this, it's nice and smooth. I like it, and I got it at Michael's. And it's medium gel if you're looking for it, and I will leave a link for that as well. I like the color because it's a cream color. It's not dark like the vintage photo. And then I'm going to use the Tim Holtz stain right out of my stash. I mean, this is a beautiful stash project where I get to use my products. I love that. And I think it's the orange marmalade. That's what it is that I used. I'm getting some more stickers out. This one will go. I will read that in just, it says, I am something blessed and coffee obsessed. Oh my, I can't even see that. It's late. But it does say that coffee. I'm not even gonna try to read this, but I'll read it to you when I zoom it in. Can you read that? I can't read that. That's just, but I love the fact it said that I'm blessed, so that's awesome. So I took my heat tool. Let's move on. Hearts, hearts, hearts. You know I love my hearts. And I wanted to figure out where I'm going to put my round little, they look like magnet buttons on the back. That's why I did my heat tool, like my glue gun, because it had the metal and I wanted to make sure it stayed on. So here I'm situating all of my die cuts so I can figure out what I'm going to do with my mugs, because it has, see the little ovally part? It has the part where you can, you know, if you have hot chocolate, you can put dark ink on it. And then you have your beautiful whipped cream on top of there. You have 2 sizes of marshmallows. I used the little mini ones. Here we go. And I made a bow, but I put the bow up where the, on the right hand upper side. And here's my orange marmalade stain, my spray stain. Took a baby wipe. Love this element of having the stain on there. Just breaks up the color, breaks up the blue and the brown tones. And there it is, Cheeky Studio. I put the card in the front of my Ziploc bag, and I started putting all my ephemera in there so it didn't get too heaved around my desk or my island. And then I can just pick out stuff because the Ziploc bag is see-through. So here's my coffee churner on the top, and now I'm going to raise up, I think I raised up 3 out of the 5 of the mugs with the Scotch double-sided tape. I already distressed it with I think it's Blue Jean and the Vintage Photo. I distressed the bow with the blue and the Vintage Photo, and I'll move it out of there. Oh, I'm sorry. I must have a incoming email. And I'm going to keep going though because it's late and I want to get this up for you tonight. So I'm looking for something else to put on here. Oh, you know what I did? I cut out the word happiness here. That was on one of the tags. Distress the edges, put some Vintage Photo around it. And I made, like, you know, this, churning this coffee brings you happiness. So there you have it. Oh, I almost can read that. I still can't read it up close. I think it says truly blessed and coffee obsessed. Whew. I have my glasses on. I had to check here just to make sure my glasses were on. Yeah, why can't you read that? So there's that little, you know, liquid, the little oval liquid on there. I just love these mugs. And I love the fact that you can take your embossing folders and emboss them. And they all have a different look to them. I thought it was cute. And look at, there's the nice whipped cream on top. Then you have all of the, there's my bow going up. I really did like, I enjoyed this very much, doing this layout for you. I really did. Then I had this little row of hearts, 5 little hearts. So I did it in a contrast color, blue, and put it on my mug This is where the decorating comes into play. Don't you love it? You just get to sit down and decorate and, you know, design. I mean, I am a guest designer. After all, I am a designer, right? Creative designer. Yes, what a wonderful title that is. I feel important. Now we're kind of coming down to the wire. I remember I had that that booklet I bought at Michael's with all the words in it. It has all different fonts of the alphabet. But on the back half, while I'm designing this, I'll tell you, I'm going to get it here for you because it's right beside me as I am doing the voiceover. But it is Me and My Big Ideas, and it's called Mamby Sticks. It has 1,122 pieces. So it has words in the different fonts of the alphabet. It's wonderful, and it was inexpensive. So I grabbed the back of that, and I put all of these great little sayings all over my layout, and it was wonderful. And they're kind of see-through. It looks like you typed them right on the layout. So now here's my heat little flamies coming out of my hot chocolate or my hot latte or my hot coffee, whatever you want to imagine's in all of these mugs. And I put vintage photo, and then I put the blue, and then I put some yellow. I went and got the squeezed lemonade, and I put it on, LDRS. I used the LDRS Dandelion yellow. You can see it right there. I went direct from ink to paper there with the LDRS Creative Inks because they're hybrid inks, and you know I love them. So it was right beside me, and I thought they were great. And then with my, see where, I'm going to seat the buttons here. I'm going to put it just above happiness, right over top of my coffee churner. And I end up putting the yellow, like the dandelion ink from LDRS Creative, just on the tips of the flames. I thought it looked really nice. And I doubled up on the cream in the middle to get extra dimension on the middle mug. All these little elements, all these little details that just make your work, you know, extra delightful to create. And here comes my little pick stick, and I'm putting my little baby marshmallows, 3 on each of these mugs. And you can see on that You Are My Sunshine, I have a cup, actually a coffee maker, you know, with the coffee in it. And then I used one of my clips on that tag. And so it says You Are My Sunshine, and then it has a pot of coffee where the stains are there. And I just slid that into the clip for now. I end up putting, I think, a glue dot on that because I wanted it to be a little raised up. I didn't want it to look like it was totally flat. And then I put 3 donuts. 2 of the outside ones I raised up. Excuse me, donuts. Can you believe it? My little marshmallows. I raised 2 of them up on each one, so I had dimension even on my little wee marshmallows. And I'll go around with my ink. I'll ink all the edges around my 12 by 12 cardboard with the vintage photo and the navy colored one that I used. And it's a distress ink. I can't believe that the name of it just left my mind. That doesn't surprise me. I'm sure it doesn't surprise you either. So once I get all the distressing finished with that, I'm going to get that alphabet sticker pack and the saying pack, and I'm going to put those all over. And I really like them because when you peel them off, they're clear. They're like an acetate. They're just perfectly clear. And then the saying looks like you took your typewriter out and you typed all of the cute little sentiments all the way around. So I think I'm going to show you a close-up here of everything. There's my sun, there's a lot of coffee, there's sunshine in my soul today, and I'm really happy with this. I really am. And there's the pack right there. In case you're looking for it visually, I like to look at things visually, and I get out my cutting knife, I'm going to come in so you can see how cute they are when I put the sayings on there. Then you can just look at everything. They just peel right off. Look at that. You can hardly see it. I have an arrow because I wanted it to say a cup of sunshine. I wanted you to make sure you looked down and saw a cuppa and then sunshine. I thought that was kind of, you know, subliminal. And then I put one of those stickers underneath the cuppa, and it looks like it's tight because it has that clear acetate sticky on the back. I just love this set. I'm getting into it. It's so nice. And like I said, you can incorporate it to your cards. It doesn't have to stick with just doing scrapbooking and layouts. This ephemera and these packs at Cheeky Studio work for both. And there you go. You can just cut around it, and all of these wonderful little sayings. I mean, if I couldn't read the tag up there, there's no way I'm going to be able to read that. Those little sticky things. Oh yeah. Woo! I'm happy. Yes, I'm so happy. Brings smiles to me. And not because I'm at the end, just because I love doing layouts. And here I'm going to go around, and each one of these sayings, you know, they speak to me. And, you know, I thought of my granddaughter with her dad going out. I mean, how special is this? I had all sons, so I think it's a beautiful bond for my granddaughter to have her dad and go out for coffee. There, can I see? Oh, stressed. I don't even think that says stressed. I can't even read that. Oh, that's terrible. And coffee stressed, blessed, and coffee obsessed. I don't know. But look at the font on this. I put dad and me. I just love it. I mean, look at it. It looks like you typed it right on there, or else you did brush lettering yourself. And then I couldn't find another D because I used up the 2 Ds. So I went to another font on the page. You can't even tell. It says dad and me. It's just like Caitlin is talking here. I thought it was so Caitlin. Yes, I hope she likes this. I hope she will hang it in her bedroom, and I know she will. Yes. No, don't go to sleep on me. I'm not finished. Wake up. Wake. Oh, his little ear moved. Oh yeah, I had to incorporate those kittens. It's not everybody's just a dog lover. There are little kitty lovers. So I put my little cat in there for you. And I want to thank you for all the wonderful comments I'm getting on my Rubbernecker Poppy card, my last project, and on all my projects. Everybody is so crazy kind to me. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate everybody subscribing. I always tell you that at the end, but I'm thinking about it now, and I want to just tell you that I am grateful. It is a pleasure to be able to put these tutorials up for you on my YouTube channel and blog. Yeah, so we're going to move right along. We're almost coming down to the end, and that's kind of sad in a way. So here we go. I slowed it down. You have the button up there, Dad and me, the coffee little clip, and the coffee. You can see that I put the shiny oh, I don't use it that, I like to say my Pico embellisher, but it is the other shiny stuff. Right there, right there. And I'm putting that all over all the objects I want to shine. I'm going to put that on there. There you have it. We're just getting down to where I'm going to show you the final version of, look at all the layout. I just really love all of this Ephemera Tuesday. Just beautiful. Love my granddaughter. I just think she's beautiful. I put a little muffin up there for her. And you have the sayings that are really sweet. Family first, and all of this cuteness for her. Stay happy. And yes, looking good. I can see that. I guess this is a test of my eyes right now. And there is sunshine in my soul today, a cup of sunshine, all of these beautiful sayings. So anyway, thank you very much for having me on your guest design project Tuesday. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody who's viewing this right now. Thank you very much. So here we are. I'm just going to show you the end of my project. I hope that you enjoyed the time that we spent together creating this. I'm going to put my Melissa Francis hanger. It just clips on there. And I thought this would look extra special if you had those buttons on each end of the clips. That would look nice. So you have yourself a blessed week, and I will see you on my next project. Thank you so much for joining me. There's the back of the 12 by 12 layout. There's my son and my granddaughter. There you have it. Hello. Yes, and that's it, my friends. Take care.